From infernos that reshaped civilizations to wildfires that scorched millions of acres, fire has left an indelible mark on our planet. These disasters remind us of nature's raw power and the devastating consequences of its fury. Join us as we count down some of the most catastrophic fires in human history, ranking them based on their impact, scale, and lasting legacy. Get ready to witness the heartbreaking destruction and learn about the events that shaped our world, leaving behind scars that still resonate today. Brace yourselves for tales of courage, resilience, and the constant battle between humanity and the unrelenting force of nature.
In October 2007, a perfect storm of high winds, dry conditions, and human activity ignited a series of wildfires across Southern California. Fueled by the Santa Ana winds, the flames spread rapidly, engulfing vast stretches of land from Santa Barbara County to the U.S.-Mexico border. Over 9,000 separate fires raged, their combined smoke plumes visible from space. The 2007 firestorm became one of the state's largest wildfire disasters, scorching over 1 million acres of land, destroying thousands of homes, and displacing hundreds of thousands of residents. The economic impact was staggering, with billions of dollars in damages and lost revenue. Images of the orange skies and fleeing residents became etched in the minds of many, a stark reminder of nature's unpredictable fury. Beyond the immediate devastation, the 2007 fires sparked a national conversation about climate change, forest management, and the increasing risk of megafires in the American West. The disaster served as a wake-up call, prompting California to implement stricter building codes, improve early warning systems, and reevaluate its approach to wildfire prevention.
The Great Chicago Fire, a conflagration that forever altered the landscape of the Windy City, remains one of the most infamous disasters in American history. On the night of October 8, 1871, a fire erupted in a barn belonging to the O'Learys, a working-class family residing in a densely populated neighborhood. While the exact cause of the fire remains a mystery, legend has it that a cow kicking over a lantern ignited the blaze. Fanned by strong winds and fueled by the city's predominantly wooden construction, the fire rapidly spread, creating an inferno that consumed everything in its path. For 2 days and nights, the fire raged, turning buildings to ash, forcing residents to flee for their lives, and leaving behind a path of unimaginable destruction. When the smoke finally cleared, the Great Chicago Fire had claimed an estimated 300 lives, left over 100,000 people homeless, and destroyed approximately 17,450 buildings. The fire's aftermath spurred a period of rebuilding and renewal, with Chicago emerging from the ashes as a modern metropolis, forever marked by the tragedy that reshaped its destiny.
In the heart of Canada's oil sands region, a wildfire of unprecedented scale erupted in May 2016, threatening the city of Fort McMurray, Alberta. Sparked by a combination of dry conditions, high temperatures, and strong winds, the fire spread rapidly through the boreal forests surrounding the city, quickly overwhelming firefighting efforts. As flames advanced towards Fort McMurray, authorities issued a mandatory evacuation order, forcing over 80,000 residents to flee their homes with little more than the clothes on their backs. The Fort McMurray wildfire became the largest wildfire evacuation in Alberta's history, as residents embarked on a harrowing journey, facing gridlocked highways, dwindling fuel supplies, and the constant fear of the approaching inferno. The fire raged for weeks, consuming over 2,400 homes and buildings, making it the costliest disaster in Canadian history. The Fort McMurray wildfire served as a stark reminder of the increasing threat posed by wildfires in a warming world. The disaster highlighted the vulnerability of communities located in or near forested areas and the need for improved forest management practices, enhanced firefighting resources, and effective early warning systems. The summer of 1894 cast a long shadow over Hinckley, Minnesota, as a prolonged drought transformed the once lush landscape into a tinderbox. Amidst the parched forests and dry undergrowth, a series of small fires ignited, fueled by the remnants of logging operations and careless human activity. On September 1st, driven by strong winds and scorching temperatures, these seemingly insignificant fires converged into a monstrous firestorm. The Hinckley Fire, as it came to be known, swept through the region with terrifying speed, engulfing entire towns and villages in its path. the firestorm's intense heat created its own weather system, generating hurricane-force winds that sucked the oxygen from the air and propelled burning debris miles ahead of the main fire front. Residents fled for their lives, seeking refuge in lakes, wells, and hastily dug trenches. When the flames finally subsided, the Hinckley Fire had claimed an estimated 418 lives, making it one of the deadliest wildfires in U.S. history. The firestorm left behind a trail of devastation, consuming over 200,000 acres of forest and obliterating entire communities. The Hinckley Fire serves as a chilling reminder of the destructive power of nature and the importance of wildfire prevention and preparedness.
Australia, a land accustomed to the capricious nature of bushfires, faced its darkest hour on February 7, 2009, a day forever etched in the nation's memory as Black Saturday. Fueled by a deadly combination of record-breaking temperatures, drought-stricken vegetation, and strong winds, a series of bushfires erupted across the state of Victoria, engulfing entire communities in flames. The Black Saturday bushfires, as they became known, were unprecedented in their scale and ferocity, spreading with terrifying speed and intensity. The fires generated their own weather systems, creating fire tornadoes and thunderstorms that ignited new blazes miles ahead of the main fire fronts. Over 400 individual fires raged across the state, pushing firefighting resources to their absolute limit. When the smoke finally settled, the Black Saturday bushfires had claimed the lives of 173 people, making it the deadliest natural disaster in Australia's history. The fires scorched over 1 million acres of land, destroyed over 2,000 homes, and left an enduring scar on the Australian psyche. The Black Saturday bushfires serve as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of climate change and the importance of wildfire preparedness and community resilience.
The summer of 1910 witnessed one of the most catastrophic wildfires in American history, a conflagration that forever altered the landscape of the inland Northwest. Fueled by a long, dry summer, hurricane-force winds, and a landscape littered with logging debris, a series of small fires ignited across eastern Washington, northern Idaho, and western Montana, quickly coalescing into a monstrous firestorm. The Great Fire of 1910, also known as the Big Burn, swept through the region with terrifying speed and ferocity, consuming everything in its path. The firestorm generated its own weather system, creating fire tornadoes and thunderstorms that ignited new blazes miles ahead of the main fire front. Towns and villages were engulfed in flames, and railroads were reduced to twisted metal as the inferno raged for days. When the smoke finally cleared, the Great Fire of 1910 had burned over 3 million acres of forest, making it the largest wildfire in U.S. history. The firestorm claimed the lives of at least 87 people, although the actual death toll may never be known. The Great Fire of 1910 had a profound impact on forest management practices in the United States, leading to the establishment of the U.S. Forest Service and a greater emphasis on fire suppression. In the heart of the 17th century, a city built largely of timber and densely packed with inhabitants faced its greatest catastrophe. On the night of September 2, 1666, a fire broke out in a bakery on Pudding Lane in London, England. Fueled by dry weather and fanned by strong winds, the fire quickly spread through the narrow, winding streets of the city. The Great Fire of London raged for 4 days and nights, consuming everything in its path. The firestorm generated its own weather system, creating fire tornadoes and thunderstorms that ignited new blazes miles ahead of the main fire front. Homes, businesses, and even St. Paul's Cathedral were reduced to ashes as the inferno raged. While the Great Fire of London claimed relatively few lives, its impact on the city was profound. Over 13,000 houses, 87 parish churches, and numerous public buildings were destroyed. The fire led to significant changes in building regulations, with a greater emphasis on fire-resistant materials and wider streets.
In the year 64 AD, during the reign of Emperor Nero, a fire erupted in the heart of Rome, the capital of the Roman Empire. The fire is believed to have started in shops near the Circus Maximus, a massive chariot racing stadium. Fueled by flammable goods and fanned by strong winds, the fire quickly spread through the city's narrow, winding streets. The Great Fire of Rome raged for 6 days and nights, consuming everything in its path. The inferno engulfed residential areas, temples, and public buildings, leaving behind a trail of destruction and chaos. The fire's intense heat hampered firefighting efforts and created a sense of panic among the city's inhabitants. The Great Fire of Rome had a profound impact on the city, both physically and politically. It destroyed a significant portion of Rome, including residential areas, temples, and public buildings. The fire also provided an opportunity for Emperor Nero to reshape the city according to his vision, constructing grand palaces and monuments.
In October 1918, amidst the turmoil of World War I, a firestorm of unimaginable proportions swept through northeastern Minnesota, leaving behind a trail of devastation and despair. The Cloquet Fire, named after the town it would forever mark, erupted during a period of extreme drought and high winds, fueled by logging debris and the region's dense forests. Sparked by a combination of human activity and dry lightning strikes, the fire quickly grew into an inferno, driven by hurricane-force winds that propelled burning embers miles ahead of the main fire front. The firestorm engulfed entire towns and villages, forcing residents to flee for their lives, seeking refuge in lakes, rivers, and hastily dug trenches. When the flames finally subsided, the Cloquet Fire had consumed over 1 million acres of land, destroyed 38 communities, and claimed the lives of an estimated 453 people. The firestorm left behind a landscape of charred earth and smoldering ruins, a testament to the destructive power of nature.
On the same fateful night that the Great Chicago Fire raged, a firestorm of even greater magnitude swept through the forests of northeastern Wisconsin, claiming the lives of an estimated 1,500 to 2,500 people and scorching millions of acres of land. The Peshtigo Fire, often overshadowed by its more famous counterpart, remains the deadliest wildfire in U.S. history, a testament to the destructive power of nature. Fueled by a long, dry summer, hurricane-force winds, and a landscape littered with logging debris, the Peshtigo Fire erupted with terrifying speed and intensity. The firestorm generated its own weather system, creating fire tornadoes and thunderstorms that ignited new blazes miles ahead of the main fire front. Towns and villages were engulfed in flames, and residents fled for their lives, seeking refuge in rivers, wells, and hastily dug trenches. The Peshtigo Fire raged for hours, consuming everything in its path. The firestorm's intense heat melted glass, vaporized metal, and left behind a landscape of charred earth and smoldering ruins. The Peshtigo Fire serves as a stark reminder of the destructive power of nature and the importance of wildfire preparedness and community resilience.
From ancient Rome to modern-day California, these fires stand as stark reminders of nature's untamed power and the devastating consequences of its wrath. Each tragedy, a blend of unfortunate circumstances and human negligence, serves as a lesson etched in ashes. The stories of these fires are not just tales of destruction, but also of resilience, of communities rebuilding from the ground up and adapting to a world where fire is a constant threat. As we grapple with the increasing risks of wildfires in a changing climate, these historical events offer valuable lessons in preparedness, response, and the need for a collective effort to protect our communities and our planet from the devastating impact of fire.